Howdy soldiers, Captain Ally on deck, and welcome to my review / discussion on My Little Pony Season 8 Episode 3, The Mod Couple. So, like my reviews / discussions, I'm going to be talking about this episode in chronological order from its start to finish, and give my thoughts on it, and give it a review at the end. Pretty straightforward. Sorry if there's a lot of glare coming from the top of the screen. I apologize for that. For some reason my light bulb does that, and I try to combat it with other lights, and I can only get so far with it. Apologize for that, but that's the best I can do. And it's almost 10 o'clock, so I want to get this recorded as soon as possible. Okay, so starting off from the beginning, we have Maud's first introduction to the season as a stand-up comedian, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I've seen better from Maud. It's just my personal opinion. Her jokes were... They needed a lot of work. No offense. They were a little less than decent. Some of them got a little chuckle, but not more than that. Unless I'm missing something. Yeah, Pinkie got more of a laugh than Maud did, surprisingly. So later, after the new intro, finally, we find out that Maud hasn't neglected Pinkie Pie, but they've been spending less and less time together. And when they finally do plan something, Pinkie decides to throw a surprise party for Maud. I just find it a little weird how Pinkie would be the master at surprises, and yet she's not very subtle. I mean, I get it for the audience, but really? Pinkie Pie, you're a party pony. You know better. At least I hope so. And even after Maud promised Pinkie Pie that they spend time together tomorrow at a certain time, she ends up missed the dateline, or missed the time for when they were supposed to meet. Pinkie was really desperate to spend time with Maud that she got in rare form, as Applegeek put it. I was recently watching his reaction to it. Always a fan of him. I'll leave a link down in the description for his channel if you don't know him. I'd be surprised if you don't. But yeah, when Pinkie Pie is determined, she's determined. So she finally heads down to was it the bakery, or what was it? I can't remember what the store was, but then we were introduced to a new character, Brier, who, yes, is apparently Maud's boyfriend. I want to talk about Brier before we move on to the ship. I like his character design. It's similar to Maud, not in the sense that he's monotone, but that... I don't know how to put it. He's not... I really don't know how to describe these kind of characters, but his main thing is always saying technically he's an overthinker. Doesn't show it, he's just stone-faced. But yeah, like Maud, he's someone we just like, even though he doesn't seem interesting on the outside, he is interesting like Maud. Which I can understand why Maud would have an interest in him. I see the similarities between the two, and well, they seem like a good couple for each other. The SS Maud Brier. I ship it. I thought it was pretty interesting how we just got introduced to a new ship in the beginning of this season, and it worked out well, like Big Macintosh and Sugar Belle. I like what they're doing. But, of course, Pinkie Pie doesn't understand Maud Brier. Not of course, but... I was gonna question why Pinkie doesn't understand Mudbrier considering that he's so similar to Maud, but the reason would be is because Pinkie Pie grew up with Maud and she got used to what Maud does, having a pet rock, being monotone, her types of jokes. The reason she doesn't see that in Mudbrier is because they're not family, they haven't got to know each other. So I understand how she can be, how she was a little prejudiced against him. Little. But I guess I don't think it was caught up in pride, but more in love. She was looking out for her sister, but failed to realize what Maud saw in him, which we'll talk about that in a later part of this video. So Pinkie, after getting a talk with Starlight, tries to befriend Mudbrier to see if they can work together to help make Maud's surprise party. And surprisingly, Mudbrier knows a little bit more about Maud than Pinkie Pie. How Maud doesn't like surprise parties. He did bring up that point how Maud was just trying to protect Pinkie Pie's feelings, and yeah, I understand that. I respect her for wanting to protect Pinkie Pie's feelings, but I am not a fan of protecting someone's feelings by lying to them or keeping silent when you shouldn't be. So I do see a fault on Maud's part for not speaking up and telling Pinkie Pie what she wants. Then again, on the other hand, it makes her happy to have these surprise parties thrown because makes her happy to see Pinkie Pie happy. Hey guys, sorry for the jump cut, but I thought I heard something outside. It was just my mom. So, moving back into it. Yeah, Pinkie Pie isn't very happy that, or doesn't take it easy that Mudbrier knows a little more than Pinkie Pie knows about her sister, or she was more prejudiced. Again, that's the word. But I find it interesting, in a sense, how people can get so caught up in their heads, how they get so caught up in their own pride that they never take it from another perspective, how they never take it from someone else's perspective here and there, or even third person, just not from anyone's. In a sense, I kind of get it because you are looking out for yourself, but there are times when you gotta, in order to look out for yourself, you gotta look at it from another perspective. I just thought it was pretty interesting how Pinkie Pie never stopped and tried to look at it from another perspective. But I think she was trying to, in a sense, she was trying to protect her sister, but also, I think, well, I don't know how the word to describe it, how, if Pinkie Pie didn't like Maud's boyfriend, then how can Maud like him? Which, I don't know the word to describe that, but yeah, I think it's kind of a family love, but also a little bit of pride. And it gets to Pinkie Pie to the point where she runs off crying and she questions her entire reality. I kind of found that pretty dark. Because how often do people get to the point where they start questioning reality? Like, is there something wrong with me? Do I not like this? Am I a fool? Do I not see things the right way? When she started that weird thing where her friends' heads were playing around acting the opposite of who they are. That was dark for me because it takes a lot to break someone down or to get so distressed to the point where you start questioning reality and who you are. So, that leads to Pinkie Pie running off to the rock farm and seeking help from her other two sisters, Limestone and Marble. who gives some pretty good advice as to how Maud sees Mudbriar. How, sure, Pinkie Pie may see him as just an ordinary rock, but Maud sees Mudbriar for who he is on the inside, as a gem. I really like that too, because it's a reminder to never judge anyone by the cover, just by their looks. And I understand why people do it. It's a survival mechanism for, does this person look safe? Does he look attractive? Does he look like I can have a conversation? That kind of stuff. I understand. But sometimes you just gotta put some of that aside and actually get to know them. Unless they're holding a gun and they look like they're too ferocious to get to know. That's an exception. But yeah. Really good advice, Limestone and Marble. I found that pretty interesting how a Limestone could give such advice, but we find out the most interesting things from the people we least expected from. So, after Pinkie Pie gets her lesson, she gives Mudbriar a second chance and literally tries to say sorry with an olive branch, or I forget what the actual name for it was, but yeah, nice pun, Hasbro. And it ends with them throwing a semi surprise party. It's a party for Maud thrown in the middle of Ponyville. Not a surprise party because Maud views it off in the distance with Pinkie Pie and Mudbriar. And the three of them are friends. Well, with Maud and Mudbriar being special ponies with each other. And that pretty much summed up episode 3, the Maud Couple. I really like this episode, and because I like seeing ships that are executed properly, how you can actually see how they like each other, how they actually relate to each other, or not relate to each other. The audience can see what they see in each other, and they get to connect with the characters too. I know that some people are probably going to criticize as to how I'm being a little hypocritical because of how I didn't see Fluttercord. Guys, I made a video on my stance on Fluttercord. I made 3 videos on that. You can check the playlist down in the description. But for me, I didn't see it too clearly. I saw them as progressing as friends. I never saw it as a way. I never saw it happening to the point where they could become in love. But that's me. Again, I'm gonna leave it off. I'm gonna leave this off. I need to say my stance on what Fluttercord is before another heated debate goes down in the comments. Not that it's happened before, but I don't want that to happen. Fluttercord can go either way. Fluttershy and Discord could either stay friends, or they can go into a romantic relationship. Either or can happen. It is not set in stone whether they're going to stay friends or enter a romantic relationship. We're just going to see what the writers do. It's not up to us, it's up to them. And I am open-minded, and I am okay with whatever happens. Okay? I don't want any Fluttercord pros or Flutterkai haters or Fluttercord pros or Fluttercord haters in the comments. Just, if you want to talk about it, okay, but do not try to give me stuff as how I should be for it to the point where I die for it, or I'd hit it to the point where I'd burn it to the stake. I'm open-minded to whatever happens, and I'll be happy with whatever happens. Back onto the review of the episode, I would give it a pretty good 8.5 out of 10. I really liked it because we got a new ship, and it's a good one that we can relate, one one that we can understand and connect with. That's what I'm trying to say. One that we can understand why they love each other and how their relationship will work out in the future. Similar to what they did with Big Macintosh and Sugar Belle. We got to see what they saw in each other, and we saw it progress in a healthy way. Makes me wonder if I should bump it up to a 9. It's 8.5 out of 9. It was great, but not the best. We still got a whole nother season ahead of us. So let's see where that goes. And got to see a more softer side to Limestone, since she's nearly miserable every day, as it is confirmed. But she has interesting insight to certain things. And yeah, for me, it shouldn't come to any surprise that the people we least expect it from can give good advice. Some of the best advice. But we all forget some of the most important lessons we learn. Right? I'm sorry if I seemed a little less enthusiastic or down. It's late at night and, well, I don't feel tired, but I guess during the night my face drops. So sorry if it seemed a little down. I apologize for that. But that'll wrap it up for this video, comrades. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. And if you did enjoy, please share the video with other people who you think might like it as well. This is Captain Nightlight, signing out.